Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. So I thought I'd have a quick look and show you what happens with Loquats or Loquats here, or in my experience in where I am in outer London. One of the problems we have with these plants here is they don't flower until December, January, and at that time there are no pollinating insects around. And the other main issue we get is we've had obviously a lot of rain recently, as well as some reasonably cold weather, is the flowers are ruined by the excessive rain, and of course the fact there are no pollinating insects. Now at the moment I can't see any sign of a single fruit having set on my two plants. This one here has flowered already. I have tried brushing the flowers with a brush if people are interested. The second one is only just starting to come into flower, and we're almost at Christmas and the weather's both been cold and wet, and of course this one's flowering later than the other one, which means they can't really cross-pollinate each other. But it's very common here because they flower so late and our winters are so wet, even though they're not excessively cold, that time and again I end up with zero fruit set on my Loquats or Loquats. Not an awful lot you can do about it, it's just the climate here. Now if you're in central London, it's just a couple of degrees warmer, and that makes a big difference because there's more likely to be pollinators around, and also less likely to have damage to the these plants. As you can see, the flowers are trying to open on these, but it's an incredibly slow process, and I'll probably tack on in this video there's one, would you believe it, there's a bumblebee attempting to pollinate the flowers for me. So obviously the weather's a little bit mild today, therefore there's a bumblebee out there. And I'll also tack onto this video my parents' plant, which I planted at their garden, which is far less developed. So it's nice to see a bumblebee out. Whether or not he's successful in cross-pollinating any of these remains to be seen. So I'll in a minute I'll switch to my parents' Loquat or Loquat, and you can see how that's developing its flowers. Okay, so here we are with part 2 of the video, and I'm looking at the seedling Loquat or Loquat that I planted at my parents some years ago. It has featured if you look through the playlists, and it's finally starting to get established now. You can see from the lighter leaves all the new growth. And this one has actually didn't flower last year. If it did, it only produced a couple of flowers. This one is starting to produce quite a respectable number of flower buds in the growths all over the place. They're slightly behind, it's more than I expected, they're slightly behind my ones, or most of them are, although I've noticed around the back where it's a bit sheltered, they're a lot more, they're a lot closer to opening. In fact, some of these are open. No sign of any insects on them. I can smell the scent from the flowers. Now my parents live about 10 miles from me, out into the country, about half an hour, and it is colder and wetter out here. Now the main advantage of this plant over my ones in pots is it's now got to the point where it's pretty well established, and it's quite sheltered at the back of the border here. I can certainly smell the flowers. Now if we would get a mild spell now for 2 or 3 weeks, there is a slight chance of this setting some fruits. Now the downside is a seedling, and it has produced a fruit or two before a long time ago, but they were only, well, less than an inch in diameter. Flavour was okay, but it did require a very mild winter. But with the amount of flowers on this year, if we were to get a dry, warm spell, there's an outside possibility that a couple of the fruits might set. Now if I do see any set, I could possibly cover that branch with a couple of layers of fleece to help them survive the cold weather that we're bound to get in January and February, because we always do. But the plant's looking healthy. Did suffer some dieback for 2 or 3 years, but finally it seems to be recuperating now. And I said these have a lovely sort of I'll describe them as an almond smell to the flowers. So we will monitor this one and see if it does set any fruits. Certainly got plenty of little flower buds on it, which means that next year, if it thrives next summer, it'll probably even produce a lot more next year. Anyway, that was both, that's my home, the Loquats or Loquats I'm growing at home, which are grafted name varieties. And this is just one that I originally many years ago grew from seed, not a named plant, so you know, its fruiting background is unknown. So thanks for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it. Seasonal greetings everyone, happy Christmas. Obviously no good if you're watching this video in June, but if you watch it just after I put it out, we're only a day or so before Christmas Day. Please give me a thumbs up, remember to share the video, please do subscribe to my channel, and obviously if you click on the bell you'll know when new videos come out, which will include updates on whether or not any of these flowers are visited by insects and set. See you all soon. Brett out for now.